Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. We just had an epic interview.
Oh, I tell you what.
We were just talking about that in the break.
It was Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris. I mean, I feel enlightened.
Totally epic. I think like we were saying, you may not recognize the name, but make sure you go listen to the interview because chances are you've smoked a cigar that this man has had.
I'm sorry. This is Stogie Geek. You will know who he is.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
I'm not trying to denounce what you're saying, but this man is simply.
He's got his own cigar now, and it's got
I'm
rave
so
reviews
from
the Stogie Geek.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What a gentleman.
What he said is dead on, and I'm still blabbering. You smoke a sample of this, and I will say it's going to be a 90% hit rate. Would you agree with that, gentleman?
And you know what it is?
Yep.
For me, and he talked about it in the interview, it's that overall experience.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about, I think, every single component that goes into what ends up being an enjoyable cigar smoking experience. He talked about flavor and taste and aroma, construction, the draw, combustion rates, the strength, body, balance.
I think a lot of people, I humbly say that they forget about, I love what he said, the aroma of a cigar.
Yeah.
The aroma sometimes we overlook. Is that true?
No, I agree.
We'll say, it's got balance, it's got complexity, it's got spice, it's something nice. But the aroma is, smell this.
I don't get any spice off
No.
Well,
but I was just
saying that.
And he's saying full body. This is the essence of a full body. There are some people like that nicotine in your face, and I get it, whatever.
Right, it's
not.
It's
balanced,
but
it's flavor.
Yeah.
It's just subtle.
Flavor. Plays on the palate. Yep.
Isn't it? It cleanses my palate.
He spent a lot of time making sure that this cigar did that.
I tell you, that's almost worth. I'm telling you, if you miss this interview, you've got to download this.
Absolutely,
one of the best. Anyway,
just really quickly on this segment. New to Mr. J Havana Smoke Shop. I guess we'll start off talking about it because I actually smoked one the other day. I thought it was a really good cigar. What is the new Sealy that came in? It didn't have a band on it.
It had a band, and it was so funny you said that. I smoked that before I came down here.
Yeah. What is it called?
Is that the Miami, the one he did out of Miami?
Is it? Because what I did, Paul, the first thing, I came back from my trip. I came in the wrong day, and it sounds like I was a little whatever. Needless to say,
a little jet lag. It's all right.
Whatever. It's called Stogie Santa lag. But anyway, the first thing he did, he handed me the cigar. He says, "Mark, you've got to try this."
He did the same thing with me too.
And it's on par with his the Pasado that we all loved. Totally different cigar.
The signature series, Primera.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? It doesn't have a band on it.
I couldn't find a lot of information.
I couldn't find information.
Me either. I looked.
Is it a new cigar?
Yeah.
Brand new.
It's
a very pricey
series
cigar,
Primera
but who cares? It's all worth it.
I thought that the first half of that cigar, if I handed it to any one of the Stogie Geeks and any one of our listeners who are Stogie Geeks, if I handed it to you, you'd smoke that first half of that cigar and you would swear it was a Cuban cigar. Yeah. And then the second half just picks up in richness in the tobacco. Not so much on the flavor dial, but it's very smooth and very rich.
Just what you said. The richness on this cigar is deep, very deep. And I'm going to steal Jose's. Maybe I'll translate a little different. The cigar smokes you. Mm-hmm. How's that? Is that what
I
think that's what Jose was trying to say.
Very distinct change from the first half to the second half. I'm
glad. I mean, you're
10
times. You and Will is 10 times computer geeks than I am. I try to find anything, and I was going to call up the rep.
I just started looking.
I'm going to call her up tomorrow. I'm going to call up Lauren.
I hate to mention a cigar and talk about it like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
What's the price point?
I hate to mention it because what we're doing at the shop is significantly lower than what's out there.
Okay,
I would say $14 to
$16.
$14 to $16.
The CLE Signature Series, which is a small batch that Christian is doing out of Miami, and it was very quietly unveiled. He did it in 4 sizes.
Primera.
Yes, Primera. There we go.
This
was just pushed out to the retailers, and nothing really came out about it until it showed up, from what I understand.
Yeah, it just came in the shop unannounced.
I smoked the 5.5 by 46. It's an MSRP of $15, And I tell you what, I want to
It's
go
all
back
worth
and
it.
get more of these because
Now,
it was very good.
One last thing I want to bring up. I didn't get the name of it. I was so busy today. The new one made by Davidoff for
I didn't get the name of it either.
Yeah,
It was
me either.
made by Davidoff. Made it for Drew Estate.
right, and we only got 4
Two,
boxes. The only one in Rhode Island has them.
Yeah.
Davidoff made a cigar for Drew Estate.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Oh, what? It's something to do with a religious. A gentleman came in, Wayne Porter. You know Wayne, right?
Yeah.
And he's I don't know if he's a religious background or something. He saw the name, and I can't for the life of me. I can't think of it.
remember what it was either.
And it's something to do with I'm not saying the cigar is, but the name of the cigar has something to do with a religious person or saint or patron or something. And I'm not saying it has any affiliation.
There was two
with
sizes.
that.
There was a
like-
pyramid and a
like a
Robusto
bellicoso.
Bellicoso
yeah. And that's the second one he put in my hand, and I haven't got to that one yet. But
I haven't
Christian
smoked that
was
one yet. I
really
bought one of
good.
each size to try it, but
Anyway,
we'll report back on
Yeah.
that one.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then, of
next
course,
week.
the Tatawahe Pudgy Monsters are in as well.
Yep.
Have either of you guys smoked any of the Pudgy Monsters yet?
I haven't got to them yet.
You
No.
were on
I haven't gotten to
vacation.
mine yet.
You haven't
Coop,
gotten
do you
yours
need
yet?
any?
I smoked the two new ones
The Chucky
and the Tiff.
Tiff.
Yeah, so I'll report
And-
on. I'll report on. You want to talk about them now?
Why not?
Sure.
Oh, no, something. Next
gonna wait?
episode. Yes.
I'll wait till the end of the show. How's that?
That sounds fine. Okay,
How's that?
you have to listen.
You got to listen.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Will, I want to start with you.
Okay. I'm going to kick it off with a cigar that originally I had up at Mr. J's, and it was a cigar, Paul, that you got me interested in. And,
Yes.
And actually I've had a few more since then, and that's the Nat Sherman Sterling
Yes.
in the Corona Gorda. Now, I remember when I first came on the show, Stogie Santa was really talking about this cigar, and it was just a while before I had a chance to try it. It's their super premium cigar. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut over a Dominican blend. And I smoked the Corona Gorda, which is a 5 3/4 by 46. It's got a bit of a price point. I mean, it's a $14 cigar.
Right.
And I know we've talked about they were going after a segment of the market with that particular cigar.
Correct.
It's a mild cigar. There's no question it's a mild cigar. It's not going to get above mild to medium in strength, and the flavors are also very subtle. I didn't think the flavors they start out mild to medium, go to medium. So it's not going to be a very strong cigar by any means. But the flavors were subtle on this cigar, and that was, I think, its real strong point, is that it didn't have to have the flavors way heavy on the palate there. It had a lot of classic transitions as far as, I started out creamy to begin with, and then in the second third, you got more of that natural tobacco nutty taste, and then in the end, you got some spice, but it wasn't an overpowering spice. The construction was really, really good on this cigar. It smoked like an ultra-premium cigar should. I think it's a niche cigar. I think it addresses a segment of the market they're trying to go after. It delivers a very good experience. I put it as a box split, given the price point, but I was really pleased with this cigar.
I saw your review, and I agree 100%. And it is, and that's when we had, last year when we had the Nat Sherman
Event.
Not event, but we had it at the IPCR show.
Oh, okay.
And I was taken back by it, and I smoked a couple more. Ike was nice enough to gift me a couple more, and it just grew on me more and more. And like I said, it's a niche cigar, but give this cigar its due. It's ultra premium is what it is.
Give it some age, and I tell you what, I could smoke one of these every morning.
That's what I said. And last year, I know my head was handed on a platter by a couple of people. I found that one of my favorite cigars of the year last year. That was me anyway. So.
Yeah, no,
I remember you saying that, and that's what got me really wanting to try it. The job that this man, Michael Herklotz, has done with that company is, I've said it a million times, it's just amazing.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise. He's no surprise. He's a special.
Absolutely.
Special person.
I'm going to continue along the lines of the ultra premium. I'm going to get this discussion out of the way, because I noticed it in the last episode, we've talked about this blend a lot on the show, and there has been some times where we kind of forget some of the details that go along with this cigar. So I want to just make sure that I cover them. and talk a little about the history and what these cigars do. And this is the Davidoff Colorado Claro in the different sizes. The one I smoked recently was a specialty size. This is the pyramid size. And I'll get to my ratings. And actually, one of our original reviews by Tim Mogherini was of one of these cigars. I think he did the Robusto size. And Tim correctly stated, and there's misinformation about there, that it first came out in 2009. It's actually not true. The Davidoff Colorado Claro was originally released in 2002 in very limited quantities. It was then re-released in 2009, and again, which he says last month, which was a couple of years ago now. I've seen it more and more in stores, so it tends to be not as limited. There are actually now 5 sizes to this Colorado Claro blend. The wrappers are all Ecuadorian Colorado Claro. It's a sun-grown Ecuadorian Connecticut seed wrapper. The Dominican binder and filler make up the rest of the cigar. And in fact, it's a Davidoff Special Series that is wrapped in this special Colorado Claro wrapper. We were talking about that last show. We couldn't remember the details. So the 5 sizes are the newest size, the Anniversario number 3, is a 6x50. The double R is a 7.5x50. There's the short Perfecto, which we all know and love, 4 7/8 by 52. The special R is a 4 7/8 by 50 Robusto, and there's the one that I smoked recently, 6x52, which is a pyramid. They carry a pretty high price tag. You know, the double R being at the top end at $28, and the Robusto going to $16 with all the other sizes, or the short Perfecto being around $15, and everything else pretty much in between in terms of sizes. So they're pricey. I'll tell you what, it's one of the better, probably one of the best cigars that Davidoff has to offer in terms of flavor that you get off of this wrapper. There's a few reviews, one of them from Seth's Humidor. It basically talks about, it's just a beautiful looking wrapper as well. So the old batch from 2002, which I believe is the one that I got my hands on, some of them, that's Oasis in my book, hands down. I mean, this blend ages. I gave you some.
I know.
It's Oasis in my book. The newer ones, only due to lack of age, right, or fight Chuck Norris for them. I mean, this blend is so consistent, very flavorful. Now, the mileage varies on the sizes. I've smoked all of the sizes except for the Anniversario number 3. I'd stick with the Short Perfecto being my top choice, and the Specialty being right up there in my book with the Short Perfecto. A close second is the Special R Robusto. I haven't been a huge fan of the Double R. I smoked one of those, and I reviewed it on the show many episodes ago. So I want to get my hands on an Anniversario number 3 Colorado Claro, which is a Toro size 6x50.
Probably could have got those for you if I didn't do what I did.
Yes, you probably could have when you were in Geneva at the Davidoff store.
Yeah, but I know. But
Didn't realize it was closed on Sunday.
I could have went Saturday, but
you were impaired.
I
didn't want to make an ass of yourself.
Right. It's
probably a classy place.
Right. I figured I had my Stogies shirt on.
Yeah. Oh, you had your Stogies shirt on and everything, and you were wasted.
And I was wasted. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
I was by the water fountain, and
So yeah. So this blend basically teeters between Oasis and fight Chuck Norris for him.
I mean, what more can you say?
Be one of the more highly rated blends out of every cigar that we've ever reviewed on the show. I wanted to make sure that we gave all of the correct information, because if you try and find more information than what I just provided you, good luck.
Yeah.
Because there is not a lot of information about this cigar.
Yep.
Will Stogie Santa, do you have anything else to add about this particular blend?
No, there's nothing. It's just a very special.
It's based on the special series.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's just when you go in these ultra premium scenarios, first of all, you've got to understand what it is. It's just so unique. It is, and that's what happens. A lot of people they'll dabble in a Millennium Blend and different things, and this is like 8 notches above.
Yep.
It's just. Okay. Anyway,
I'll tell you how it compares to the Art Edition, because I smoked one of those coming up as well.
Paul, let me make one comment on that.
Sure.
So Davidoff really this year, and I follow Davidoff very closely. They've really been marketing back before that. That Special R has been one of the 3 cigars they've really been marketing hard this year in their Viva Davidoff campaign. So if you've heard that Viva Davidoff campaign, they're really, I think, pushing. There's 3 cigars in there that they're really trying to get people to discover and see, and that Special R is one of them. So, if you're seeing a lot of Viva Davidoff events, check it out because that cigar is going to be front and center.
And the whole thing is, there are people I just absolutely love in this industry. Davidoff, and when ultra premium, I mean, that is it. There's nothing higher.
No,
I'm sorry. I mean, I love. There's a lot of special people out there. I really have a lot of admiration for. But they are something. They are the forefront. They are. They truly
I really think that the majority of our listeners out there, regardless of what your palate is, whether you like Davidoff cigars or style cigars, whether you like or don't like that herbal quality flavor, I really truly think you're going to try one of these cigars
and fall in love.
And you're going to fall in love, and you go back and you're going to buy a box. They all come in boxes of 10.
Yep.
And you can find them now. I mean, before they were very, very hard to find. I mean, I've gone into several brick and mortars and looked at several websites, and there's a lot available right now.
Yeah,
and I think
it's because of that campaign.
They've really pushed this.
We'll end it on this.
Yeah,
Davidoff class. End of story.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
I feel like almost more classy when I smoke this. No, that's just how I feel. Not saying I am, but
no, it is. You're done with it, and I feel like okay, I can go to Park Avenue now. I'm all set.
Yeah.
It is. It's true. It really is an experience. Anyway.
Alrighty. Stogie Santa, what do you got on your
I'll
list?
tell you what. I was in. I forgot. I don't know if I was in Switzerland, wherever I was at the time.
Some European country.
Yeah, whatever. It was a regional release I had by Punch. It was an Exclusivo, and I forgot the name. I couldn't see it. I was underneath the regional release. It was I believe, if I can remember, it was like a Robusto, and that thing was awesome. It was really, really good. The price point over there was like $14. I tell you, the first 3/4 of the cigar was absolutely. I couldn't believe it was a Punch.
Really? A Punch regional release?
Yep.
You think in Switzerland?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I could have been.
Could have been.
The memory banks were too well. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. But the last three inches of this cigar, I wouldn't call it sour, but it's like I couldn't believe I was smoking a Cuban. It fell apart. And if I was doing some research, and if I was right, I can't remember the name. This was like 204, 205, the release on this date, on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I tell you what, I bought like 3 or 4 of them, and every one I smoked, I think it was how many I bought, I don't remember. And each and every one did the same thing.
Oh, like fell apart?
I'm telling you, it got right to about this size, and I had to get rid of it.
It just turned sour?
You know how some of the Davidoffs, I'm not knocking them, but you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes the last
they get a little funky, and the same thing happened. But it was, I tell you what, the 3/4 of the cigar was worth getting rid of the last part, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
It was, I thought, so good.
Will, what else you been smoking?
Well, yeah, and along the lines, because it's kind of funny, I smoked the regional Exclusivo this week as well, and I'm going to jump around a bit, but I do have one. I smoked the Bolivar Exclusivo, the regional for Canada. This one was actually gifted to me by Cess Humidor. And I had not smoked it before, and I was very impressed by it. It was I'm kind of intrigued by the whole this whole regional release thing that Habanos does. It's just a very intriguing thing. So I guess they do different blends and different brands with different sizes. Great cigar. It had a lot of classic Cuban notes. It had some black pepper, grass, toasted nut. I got an interesting vanilla bean note on this thing,
really?
which was very unusual for a Cuban. This cigar had some strengths, which surprised me. I think the strength was actually it overshadowed the body a bit on this cigar, which not unheard. Something I don't usually get on a Cuban. And this cigar was released in 2007, so I was even surprised that it had it that long. Great cigar. It comes in a 5x48 Robusto. It's got a price point. I looked on Cigar Inspector, who had it listed at $20, so it's not a cheap cigar, and probably you can't get it anymore. I'll tell you what, it's a box split. If I can ever come across a box I'd call Seth and split the box with him or one of you guys because it's a good cigar.
Yeah, make sure you call one of us. No,
Oh, yeah.
But, to the Stogie standpoint, on a lot of Habanos, I get that sourness at the end.
Isn't it weird?
When you
It's
said that,
interesting.
I'm like, I get that a lot. Now, I didn't get it on this cigar, but I've got
This
it on
was,
a lot.
would you call it? I don't know. It was weird. It was just got so oppressive, offensive.
It's a sour. It's
Oh.
not citrus, but it's a sourness.
No, isn't
It's just,
it?
Yeah. It's oppressive, is what it is.
Yeah, and I was like, I tried to wash it down with bourbon. It didn't help.
I did the Herrera Esteli Lancero. This is the 2014 limited
I want to
edition.
hear what you say about this.
I thought it was a great medium body profile.
Yep.
The flavor seems a bit muted compared to some of the other offerings in the blend. I want to say that his short Corona and Lonsdale pack a little more in the flavor department than this one did for me. I think age is going to be really kind to these, and I want to see where they stand in maybe a year. I rated it a 5.
I found that the draw on this was too restricted. I think if it
and that can affect the whole
yeah,
experience.
it is.
and
I
the
only
whole-
had one of them because the availability of it. Mark Jr. and a couple other people, was it whoever says it was horrible.
Mark Jr. wasn't big on this one
no,
at all.
I
thought it was good. but-
I was all. I mean, for a 10-pack, it's a box. To me,
Yeah.
it's a box-worthy cigar.
I actually did grab 5 of them
Yeah,
to go
and
with all the reviews,
I would
but-
like to smoke. I don't want to pass any judgment because it's one cigar, and that's so unfair.
No, I only
but,
smoked
but
one
I agree.
first review,
I
too.
agreed. I agree with you. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Will, what were your thoughts on
I
this
thought
one?
it had more spice. I thought it was more spicy than the Lonsdale.
Really?
That's
Well, it had
and
more
sometimes
it had
it's funny how we have a
spicier.
sometimes we have an opposite. Mark Jr. and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. Yeah, I felt that the Lonsdale just delivered better flavors, and so did the Corona in that.
Oh, the short Corona. I mean, that's my favorite by all means. That's my.
But it's still
fell
good.
to the
This
ball,
was still a
Mark
good
would say.
cigar.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh, yeah.
there's no doubt. I think I
Absolutely.
had it as a 5 or a box split when I talked about it.
And you know, and another cigar that it seems like it's a 50-50 split. I see different reviews, and a lot of people either fall in love with them or they don't. Is a Romeo and Juliet short Churchill.
Oh yeah, I love those.
It's funny.
I do. I love those. That's another one I'd smoke every morning.
Oh,
with coffee.
and that's what I did.
Oh,
every day I was
every morning
there.
I'd smoke
I bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
And that's what I did every morning. Espresso with
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. All day.
All
long.
day long. The box date on this was only a year old, and it's funny. I heard some people just don't like the cigar. There's no. It seems like there's no middle ground with the cigar.
I mean, that cigar. There's some of those Cuban cigars like that one where, I kind of get this emotional attachment to them, and I kind of picture myself at a coffee shop in Cuba with that whole experience happening around it, sipping espresso and having that cigar, and it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, exactly. I had a friend of mine who went with me to Europe, and not a big cigar person, and that
He
was
is
his,
now.
He is now. Oh, he is completely ruined. His wife is not very happy with him. I completely distorted his whole view of life.
I was going to retire, but now
Stogie
Santa got me in a cigar.
And he's a doctor on top of that. I don't know why he's hanging with me. But anyway, that was his favorite cigar. He loved that and got him on espressos. I love that cigar.
So he was sitting with every morning.
Every morning and at night.
You can just close your eyes and you're in Cuba. And there's all the classic cars driving
and the wind
by.
going through your hair.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
That's how I think of that cigar.
Now, what do you think about that, Coop?
I love that cigar.
Do you? Good.
Love it, yeah.
It's funny. I don't hear anyone say it's okay. They like it or they don't.
Yeah, you're on the. Yeah, exactly.
I just went over. I just happened to pull up some of the. Even here,
The reviews,
some of the views in it, I see some ratings as low as like 80, 82, 83.
Which on that 100-point scale is
I was
really
like,
low.
whatever. I'll tell you what. Don't go listen to the Stogie Geeks type of rating. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Will?
All right, so I guess for 4th of July tomorrow, I smoked the Viaje Roman Candle.
Yeah, good call. I should have smoked the 4th of July cigar, too.
Jesus, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow's the 4th of July. I got mine.
Tomorrow is, and it's going to rain all day here.
Fuck,
But
excuse me. I'll smoke on my garage.
there you go.
Yeah. So this is Andre Farkas brought back his 9x50. cigar. And they had released this once before in 2012. And I'll be honest with you, when I had it in 2012, it was not one of my favorite Viaje cigars. I felt it was very one-dimensional, lacked a lot of complexity. It wasn't a horrible cigar, but I just kind of felt it had that. And as I'll mention, it had some inherent problems, I think, sometimes with a cigar of this length. This one was much better. I don't know if the blend has changed or not. I believe it's a similar, if not the same blend. But I felt that this one had a little more in the way of complexity. It did a lot of transitions with this cigar. I got a lot of notes of cedar, pepper, oak, natural tobacco, a little bit of coffee. Not a powerhouse by Viaje standards. It's medium strength, medium body. It was going great for about the first two-thirds. And this is what happens, and I get this on a lot of double Coronas and A cigars. It got warm in the last third.
Yeah.
And it just got
Good,
real harsh.
great call.
It went. And, the fact I got 6.5 inches, I still put it as a 5 because I really enjoyed that first two-thirds. But it would have been better if I could have really got a nub on that thing. And it's inherent problems with a cigar that size.
You think about that, Coop. A lot of it. By the time you get to the end, you got a lot of tar, a lot of build up, and that's why it is an A version. There's one that I'll review that later. That one of my favorite A's.
I tell you what, Padron does a great job.
And the Monty A.
And the Monty A, really? Cuban Monty A?
How's this? I did that. I bought that when my daughter was in junior high. And that was 7 years I had on. I figured she'd never get out of school. And
you were saving it when she got out of
I
school.
figured by the time she got out of high school, it'd be 59 or something. But anyway, that's my favorite A, is the Monty A.
Well,
that's a special cigar. This type of weather is the A version to smoke.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
When you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I smoked a Nat Sherman Timeless Super Lancero. This is I love the Timeless blend, and this is really no exception to the blend. Great representation of the blend. A Honduran wrapper, Dominican binder, and Dominican Nicaraguan fillers. This is an 8 by 38, and I have to say I really love this size. For whatever reason, that extra inch when it goes from the 7 to 8 makes a difference in a good way.
My wife said the same thing. Yeah. I'm sorry. Cigars. Jesus, God, I get all confused. Okay, go ahead.
You get some nice cool smoke. The ring gauge is perfect. It require a couple of touch-ups, but the flavors were really amped up in this blend, and good change from medium to medium full as you smoked it, and it's a 5er all day long.
It's the important word you just said. Never got hot.
No, it didn't.
And if you like that, I pinged Mike Hercules, and I told him, know what I fell in love with? The 1930.
In the Super Lancero?
Yes.
Or in the
Yes, I like that.
That's a really
lot.
good cigar too. I had some construction issues.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I don't listen to you with construction issues, but
I have another one. I got to smoke it.
But if you like that, you'll love the 1930. You'll really will. But that's a great smoke also. And what's the price point? I forgot what that was.
I forget what the price.
That's like maybe like $11.
Yeah, it's not terribly expensive. Yeah. It's a
There's
real
a Sterling, I think, in that blend too. I mean,
Yes.
that size rather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? I'd love to try that one.
Yeah, they do have it. Yep, I'm looking at. They do have a Sterling.
Yes.
Great. And Lancero is for sure making a comeback. I mean, it's official now.
You say that, but I'm quoting reps. So for what it's worth, that seems like it's more in the northeast corridor.
Interesting.
Did you hear the same thing on that, Coop?
Yeah, funny, when there was a show we did a few weeks ago, I think it was just when you left, Paul and I did the show, and we had a whole discussion on Lanceros, and I kind of was in the same boat as you. I'm not sure yet if this is the year of the Lancero.
No,
I'm hearing people say it.
All those people in the South are like, look at those Yankees in their funny Lanceros.
That's why we won the war.
Here's the funny thing.
But the bottom line is this: we're talking about it. That's the key. 5 years ago, I couldn't sell a Lancero if it was a Cuban, let alone a domesticated cigar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, it's made some headway. Will it really has?
But if you think about who's making the Lancero,
right? Great point.
It's those companies that are marketing through social media and doing a lot of events that are connecting with their audience. And I'm not picking on any companies, but you don't see General and Altadas putting out a lot of Lanceros.
There's a reason.
Well, I think it's a different smoker, For sure.
I think, but I think that's what
That's
I'm
the
saying.
point he's saying.
Yeah.
Yep. And notice that I'm going to tell you something. I was mesmerized by. I had Nate, one of our listeners, gave me the event only, the A version of the Liga Number 9.
Really?
That thing was spectacular.
Really?
Oh, have you had that at all, Coop?
Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised. It was a see. I thought it was very amped down for a Liga, and maybe it was a medium, and maybe I was just expecting a 9 or a T52.
And that's what I liked about it the most, and I got more of a sweeter flavor off it. It was way amped down, but that being said, the flavor off that was I really enjoyed that. I'll put that in my top 5 of A's.
Wow.
Top 5.
See, now I had it with a bunch of guys who were big Liga guys when we all smoked it together, and none of them liked it. Now, I kind of was defending it for a lot of the reasons you were. It was not meant to be a full Liga.
No.
There was some nuances you got with that thing that you had to look for, but if you were expecting a full Liga, you're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's blended totally different. You got more of a I got a lot of cocoa flavors off that. I thought it was a lot sweeter than any of the Ligas.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's the best way I can say it.
Yeah, one of the few times we disagree, but I enjoyed it. But I can see.
I'm going to give it another shot based on you saying.
Yeah, but because what you got to do is if you got to take that leap of faith of I take the cigar for what it is. I don't try to if I'm smoking whatever cigar I am, I don't try to compare it to anything. I let it stand for itself. I don't want to compare it to anything. What it delivers on its own. And I was pleasantly. I tell you what. For what it's worth, it's probably one of my favorite leaguers. Not my top, but one of my favorite leaguers.
Was there anything else on your list, Mr. Cuban cigar smoking for 2 weeks straight?
Oh God. I
got them all.
I did the Petite Amundo.
Oh.
Good Lord Almighty!
Awesome
I didn't give any to my friend. He was clueless. I said, dude, no, you won't like this. This
you
is
won't
not.
get this.
No, you're not getting.
You're not
this.
ready for this yet,
right? Then I got the 2011 Raz Special Select.
Oh, really?
Dude, I'm telling you, I meant to bring some back, but I couldn't. I smoked 65 cigars, 10 days, probably more. And as I just said, it was. I want to the cruising the Rhine, and I don't want to get away from this. The Rhine River cruise is like the geriatric patient type thing, But it wasn't
a lot of activity going on.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. Just leave me alone. But it was cruising about 3.5 knots, and most of the people they were holding on. Yeah. But anyway, it was perfect. The wind didn't blow. It was perfect.
It wasn't too much wind to ruin your cigar.
There was a lot of wind on the ship, but not on the. I knew what I was getting into, but I'm telling you, these Petite, I think.
Did you smoke a dozen of them? Or more?
Close. I only bought about 20 Cubans. That was it. And I'm going to tell you something. I think I like that better than the Amundo.
So what did you buy the second day of vacation?
That 2011. I got some.
Ramon Eliotis specially selected limited edition 2011.
Yeah. It's really. And the guy only had, I think, it was the double digits. I smoked them all. And whatever, I just told him, give me my budget. My wife was getting T-shirts and fruits and candies and whatever.
You buying cigars.
I looked at my bill. I just got it in from whatever, and whatever. I got some off another site, and these were totally different.
Really?
I'm telling you, they were spectacular. That was my belle of the ball of the show.
Wow.
Phenomenal. I meant to save you some, but I couldn't. I said, screw 'em. I smoked. I did. I had a bottle of Ashentalk, triple wood, and I could smoke right inside the bar.
The ship?
No, some bar. It was
some bar. You're
right.
Yeah.
They were. Everyone went shopping, so I told them I was going to go shopping, and I went in this bar, and it was. Whatever. Let's go. Enough of that. Oh God.
I smoked the Tatuaje Pudgy Monsters.
I want to hear this.
The TIFF. This is the Ecuadorian Connecticut Shade cigar. This is one of the new Monster releases, never before released, only released in the Pudgy Monsters little gift box thing. It started off actually with some pepper and some really good flavors I just couldn't put my finger on. It smoked really well, and I love the size. There's little to know about this blend other than it's an Ecuadorian Connecticut. I smoked it in the morning with coffee. This is one of those stronger Connecticut shade cigars that we've seen this trend, right, of manufacturers like my father and AJ Fernandez coming out with these stronger, spicier, pepperier Connecticut shade cigars. It's got a lot of right in it.
I bring out the best of you guys. I tell you.
You really do. But as Stogie Santa says, it gets the didn't know what it wanted to do with itself tag on it, I guess, because it presented flavors, but they were kind of scattered and it wasn't perfectly balanced. I do think this has some aging potential. I think it'll kind of mellow out and become a little more balanced with age because the flavors are there. They just didn't quite meld together properly.
Do you think it was young?
I didn't get youngness. I just got unbalanced would be more an accurate term.
That's concerning.
Than young. Yeah, it's kind of concerning, right? A cigar shouldn't be unbalanced right in a box like that. Now, what's interesting is that Mark Jr. said he smoked both of the new blends of the Monster series, the Tiff and the Chuck, and he said one was way better than the other one. Like he's like it wasn't a comparison. So I'm curious to see if we're on point because I smoked the Chuck, which is it had to been a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on. Is that right, Will?
I've heard mixed. I've heard it might be a dark Habano wrapper, but that is Pete's been very tight about this one.
If I had to guess, I would say it's Connecticut broadleaf, and it is just phenomenal. I mean, you almost get like a hint of cherry and chocolate.
I love
in the
that
Chuck.
cherry sweetness.
Smoke the Chuck.
Really?
It's a little short Robusto, 4x50, 4.5x50, just like the Tiff, but it's got I swear it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on it. I smoked it before the show.
What you think?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Awesome. So that would be – I'm curious to see now Mark Jr. comes back and says which one he liked better. Knowing how much he's talked about Ecuadorian Connecticut wrappers, I got to say he's going to probably – my guess he's going to come back and say it was the Chuck, and I want to see what he thinks that the wrapper is on that cigar.
And know what's something? I was one of the reps came in and gave me a who was the gentleman that worked with Rocky for a while there? Oscar. Oh God, I'll think of his name in a minute. And it's Leaf by Oscar. And it's,
Oscar Valadares.
Thank you.
Oh, he's doing some great cigars.
I'll tell you what. I did the Connecticut. I was like, it has. What you got to do is peel back the leaf that has wrapped around the cigar. I did the cool. Connecticut. It's a perfect. No, I'll rephrase that. It's a good morning smoke.
I liked it.
It was definitely a morning smoked, and the creaminess. Did you get a lot of creaminess off this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised with it. Now he told me he wanted me to give me the Sumatra. He said that was awesome.
I just reviewed the Sumatra on Cigar Coop on Sunday and loved it.
He said this. He said this is
really
unique and different, and he said, Mark, I want you to try this. So I brought him in without knowing. So
I'm really impressed with those Leaf by Oscars. The Maduro is very good. The only one I haven't smoked yet is the Corojo.
Did you smoke? I got to check out your. I'm gonna after the show. I want to see what you. And a quick synopsis of the Sumatra. Which one do you like out of all of them so far?
I think I gave a slight edge to the Maduro, but I smoked a few more of the Maduro. But the Sumatra's right up there. Yeah, I mean, I believe I had the Sumatras as a $5 or a box split.
What's the price point? I didn't even ask him. What was the price point?
$7-8. They're not
expensive. That's it. I just didn't like the idea of peeling it back. You know,
it's when you open it, you'll see it's like a pea in a pot.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And the interesting thing is those bands. They look like kind of cruddy, right? But they actually use tequila plant to make those bands. So but also. There's a guy named Jim Robinson who's kind of spearheaded those Leaf brands. He's doing there's a couple of other Leaf buys, and there's one by Leaf by Esteban, which is coming out of Skip Martin's factory. Now, it doesn't have the peel back. It comes just in a traditional cellophane. That's, I think, the best of all the leaves, is that leaf by Esteban. That's the one coming out of Skip's factory.
It's speaking of Skip, I'm telling you, we are hammering. I got to reorder again.
Really?
It's just these Mode 5s.
The Mode 5
if I haven't, let me see, I ordered, if it hasn't been 25 bundles that I've gone through, and within months' time,
between the two of us of that Mode 5, we probably smoked.
I smoked at least 3 boxes.
Yeah.
And it's just.
It's a very, you know what it is? It's a very smokable cigar. When you had that like wet short moment on the show with it, I went back and I smoked it. But it's very smokable. It smokes fast, but it doesn't burn too hot. It's medium bodied. You can smoke it pretty much any time.
It's an amped down version of it's just. I tell you,
I gotta buy a box. Those are boxes.
They are. They truly.
Purchase.
I have more people hooked on that. I think that's. Anyway, let's get back to our smokes of the week.
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
So I smoked a cigar by. This is a boutique cigar, but I heard a lot of buzz about this company, and they sent me some of the cigars. It's a company called Veritas Cigars, and they have a line called Torch, which they make in a Connecticut, a Habano, and a Maduro. And I smoked the Connecticut. And like I said, I heard a lot of buzz about these cigars starting in Chattanooga when I was there last year. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, Indonesian binder, and Jalapa, Nicaragua filler. It's got a 6x50 Toro I smoked. There's not a lot I was able to find out about Veritas other than what they sent me. They're a company in Delaware, and they make these 3 cigars. And they make their cigars in Nicaragua. So the thing is, when I looked at this blend, and the first thing I saw was Ecuadorian, Connecticut, Indonesian. Now, to me, that says real mild. That's at least what I was going to get out of it. That's what I got, real mild. So there was no surprise there. This is not going to be, I'm not going to, again, a lot when I talked about the Nat Sherman Sterling along those lines. It was a decent smoke. It had, didn't do anything revolutionary. It had, creamy notes, wood notes, pepper, a little bit of grass notes. It was a well-made cigar. It had some nice flavors. It didn't wow me. I mean, it was like the Nat Sherman. Again, I know it's a different animal we're talking about here, but this was very mild. Maybe this is a good starter cigar if you're going to hand out a cigar at a party. It gives a quality smoke out. But I had it as a try one to see. I know a lot of people really like this cigar, but I had it as a try one.
And then the other one, I guess Paul got some samples for me at Mr. J's. Robert Caldwell's new smokes. Did anyone try those?
I haven't tried those.
I'm liking them.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have to talk about it. I smoked that Long Live the King. I have to.
I got some in the back room.
You don't seem like you liked them.
I wasn't. No. I didn't. I haven't tried them. I just wasn't the representation of his first line that came in. The one that he flew because
this is completely different.
I hope so.
No, you got it. It's just completely different. They're making them down in the Dominican now, and apparently the tobacco seemed that it was really good tobacco that was there. Because I wasn't blown away by Winwood either.
No, the Winwood, whatever. But
take another sip. Tell us what you really think about Winwood.
No. That's not the way to go. But it's just
they still make those though. He's not involved, right? But they still make Winwood.
I hope that they don't make them anymore. I really don't. I just wasn't. That was one of my few lawn mulches that was on the market.
Yeah, you weren't big on that cigar.
No, Stogies, I'm curious. Smoke the Long Live the King. And let me know. I mean, I'm really curious.
I'm going to do that tomorrow.
I think you'll find it's a different product.
He told me he wants me to smoke all of them and see what I think, and I said, okay, we'll do that. I just told him I had to
In fact, I'll talk about one on the show next week as well.
I just had to give my lungs a rest the first day I got back. I tell you what, I had iron lung when I got back.
It's going to be Iron Man about 2 weeks. So.
Oh, that's it. Anyway, so what's up?
What are we doing now? You want me to do one of mine?
Sure.
All right, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Davidoff Limited Art Edition.
Oh, I never tried that.
This is a Perfecto
I haven't
cigar.
smoked one yet, yeah.
It comes with 2 different bands on it, and there's this very ornate art-looking box. One is like a bluish color, and one's like a pinkish color kind of thing.
Excuse me, please.
They're the same cigar, just different artwork on the secondary band. And now, when you start the discussion off like that, I mean, now you have to kind of talk about some of your preconceived notions, right? Like how the packaging affects the cigar, how some people with Davidoff cigars are overpriced, which is different from expensive, right? Some dismiss manufacturers that produce cigars containing all Dominican tobacco, believing it's too mild or it's going to exhibit a certain flavor profile, have these preconceived notions. So let's take all these off the table. This is a fantastic cigar.
Really?
It starts off with a very light herbal profile that dissipates, and then the sweetness comes and goes, and it picks up in strength towards the end. I mean,
no grassiness?
In the very beginning, there's that little herbal grassiness kind of flavor, which is pleasant. It's a nice,
similar to like the Perfecto.
different kind of. I don't even want to say grassy. I want to say more herbal.
All right, okay.
Than it is grassy, right? But I mean, the final third in strength, like, is really amped up. I don't think there's a Davidoff that kicks up like that in strength, and still good in the final third as well, right? It was very, very enjoyable smoke. I would say these are box worthy.
Price point?
Sure, it's $35 a stick, but I mean, hey, who's counting at this point, right? And yeah, it has pretty bands and boxes and all that too, but it's a very complex, very flavorful smoke. It keeps your attention right in that middle. There's this sweet spot where all of a sudden you're like, where did that come from? And it just starts hammering you with the sweet flavor. It's really nice. It's really nice. If you're a Davidoff fan, or if you're not, maybe it's a special cigar for a special occasion. The Davidoff Art Edition, $35 a stick. I'm calling it box worthy.
Wow.
Just because of the flavors it presented and the complexity of the whole smoke, how it went from, almost medium to mild to strong. Fantastic. I still don't think it's as good as the Colorado Claro, though. Although I only smoked one of these Art Editions today. Actually.
And it has no age on it, so you don't know.
And it has no age on it, right? Will, did you smoke the Art Edition yet?
No, in fact, I have them, and I want to smoke them. So
Yeah.
I bought some, and when I was traveling down in Florida, I was just a little worried about lighting them up too quick, so I wanted to just kind of stabilize.
Yeah,
them,
give them a smoke now.
And while we're on that, I want to just so I can, I'm being a shill here. You did a episode 99, whatever. What was the one that Coop you sent up?
Regis.
Regis. Have you any of those left? I want to smoke that.
I might. I'll look. I
You
should.
might.
Yeah, I definitely want Stogie Santa to smoke that. If not, I'll get you some more.
Yeah, just let me know. I'm really. It just made me think of that. I don't know how Davidoff or
See,
Regis.
here's why that cigar, okay? It caters to the Elohio fan. I guess it's the best one. Even though it's a different blend, it's Dominican. It's more Dominican. I think if you like Elohio and what that Elohio profile brings, that Regis is really captures that same spirit. It's the best way to put it.
You know what I want from Elohio? I want them to be in a shop in Rhode Island.
You know what's happened?
That's what I want from
I'm
Elohio.
trying to bring it, but they're tough. They're a tough sell for everybody.
They're a tough
They
sell.
don't open a lot of they don't open a lot of accounts now. They have a waiting list, from what I understand.
I want to give them my money.
Hey, well, I want to ask everybody here. We're kind of close to size-wise. I got more than Nika flavor than ever before at the end of my cigar.
It's
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
picking up.
Yep.
I'm kind of milking this Corona because it's so good. I'm smoking it slow, but it's firm. It's not burning hot.
Nope.
Combustion. Yeah, but I picked up. It had that Nicaraguan profile. At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Nope,
there.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Along the other lines of Davidoff that just released, did you see the Royal Salomon? $52
I have one of
Salomon.
those,
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. I have one. In fact, I got one right here. I haven't smoked it yet. This one you got to really set aside the right time. You got to be in the right frame of mind. It's a $52 Salomon. It's right here. If we can, yeah, look at that bad boy. That is a gigantic Salomon.
Don't jinx it.
I know it.
Yeah, it's
How's
quite
it feel?
the cigar.
And
Feels
those
good. Feels good. That's going to be an epic smoke. So I can't wait to smoke that one next. See what that one's all
I know where
about.
that came from. Donna.
Yeah, we're going to let it rest in the humidor for a while.
You got to.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah.
I may actually transfer it from my travel case and back into my humidor for a week before I smoke it. So.
Yeah, that'd be a great review a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else? So, Will, what else you been smoking?
I'm done with on my list, but I'll mention one more that I've had today. I picked up the Avo Second Movement, which is the second Avo TAA stick that's been released. Now I really loved the Avo last year, the Avo movement, the first movement. That was I really fell in love with that cigar. This is a totally different cigar. It's a little fuller. It's a little spicier. It had a lot. It had some really interesting. At the beginning, it hit you with a very tangy spice, which was kind of telling me it may need to settle a bit. But then it kind of in the second, third, and towards in the back nine, it really closed nice. It had that classic Avo notes of the grass. It had a little bit of a nice sweetness. But I got the impression it may need to settle a bit. But right now, I'd put it as a fiver. But the other thing is they did this in almost a Churchill size. It's like a 6 3/4 by 47, I think. So, but it's an interesting cigar. I'm kind of curious to see where it's going to go, though. I don't think it's there yet.
What was I going to say? Will, one that you talked about, the Tatawahe Tattoo. This is the new release.
Right.
Oh, that was that was
Robusto. It's about a $5,
Yeah.
$5.50 price point on it. I thought it was really good.
I loved it.
I smoked it outside. I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and really pay attention.
You know, we're gonna bring.
But I thought it was a great smoke.
We're gonna bring this up too, and I hope by the number I'm probably off by a couple of digits because of my age. Let's give a shout out to Coop. 736 Coop.
730.
730. I'm close.
What's that?
Of continuous
I hope it's not your
coverage
cholesterol.
of Coop. No, mine's like 530. No. Funny. But I want to give a shout out to Coop.
Was that blog posts?
Yep. Hey.
And this is a team effort, and our team has completed 2 straight years of daily posting. We're the Ironmen of the industry.
You know,
That's
it's
awesome.
you're deflecting. You started before, and I just want to really congratulate you on a lot of hard work.
Thank you.
know, it really is. That can't go. We got to give them a yell out on that. I really think that's really important.
730 posts in 100 episodes.
Yep. It's everybody. I know it's amazing. It's just to bring that point
All
up.
that time that we spent sitting around bullshitting, smoking cigars, and drinking.
Isn't that something to bring it up
amazing.
for? Isn't it? I feel like a 1,730, but it's all it's amazing.
So I want to ask you, what's some of your, or maybe one of your most memorable moments on the Stogie Geek Show?
Oh, yeah.
My memorable moments. I'm
you
going
can't say tripping over the rock because we talked about that.
No.
We had some great laughs at your expense.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I'll tell you what.
The sheet sticking to the wound.
No.
I think you still got the scar somewhere.
No. I'll tell you what. Bringing Coop to the family. That's my memorable moment. I know I sound a little shillish like that. We would do it. It brought everything together. I'm seriously when I say that. It's been a brotherhood. It's expanded horizons on every point. I know it sounds silly, but I know it. It's just so it added a lot of dimensions to our show. That's mine.
What about cigars that you've smoked on the show or associated with the show that really truly stick out in your mind?
I would have that. That's a great question. That's me and you. We did that.
I answered one last week. I want to see if he gets it.
It's on the show. God, there's so many. I don't want to do. I don't want to answer that question because I don't want to hurt any feelings. But one of them, believe it or not, it's probably going to be the Mode 5.
Yeah, that's the one I said.
Yeah. It just caught me by total surprise because I was like,
I think you
wow.
had to change your shorts twice during that
Oh,
segment.
I mean, it was really, like I had other smokes that I knew about, and this threw a complete curveball at me.
Yeah.
It was a knuckleball at me.
Mm-hmm.
And
apparently it went viral because someone contacted Skip and he came on that night.
Yeah, he said you gotta try this, and I'm an ambassador for everybody, every maker of a cigar, because the time, effort, passion, and love that people put in what they try to do, from
No,
Phil
you're right. I mean, that's
to the Grotto series to Jose Sejas to Don Peen, Pete Johnson, and I'm missing a lot of people in between.
Yeah,
And
there's
I
everyone,
knew,
right?
it's everyone. So when Coop sent this up, I had zero. I said,
Yeah.
okay. I sat there and I was mesmerized by that cigar. And to this day, I'm still, it's in probably, I would vote that one of my favorite cigars.
I just keep reaching for them in my humidor.
Since
Since you smoked one on the show, I bought a bunch, and I tell you what.
And they've been consistent. I don't want to say there was a post of one of our partners saying that he found that it was he saw some differences in the blend. And
I've noticed some subtle differences in the blend.
No,
I wouldn't
you can say that for everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's
I
the most
can't-
consistent blend that's out there. But I tell you what, when it's on, man, that smoke is on.
It's spot on, and that to me, I tell you something. Everybody has different opinions of different people of what they do and what they bring to the
What's
table.
the price point on that cigar?
$6.99.
And that's what I love about what we do, right? Is I look at other industries like beer and wine, liquor, and in other kind of what you call the luxuries like that, and you get those every once in a while. The Redbreast is a great example. It's a low price point, but it really delivers a really enjoyable, relaxing experience. And for us to pick out stuff like that. That's what I really love about the show.
I just wish that one of the things I really wish in the cigar industry, we all have different personalities and traits, and not everything. We're all not going to all get along for what we do and how we do things. The bottom line is the cigar being produced and what it's delivering. So
yes, exactly.
Put that aside. This guy does this, and this guy's done this, and whatever. And the bottom line is the experience of the cigar, and and again, I think Skip has done a lot of great things with cigars in a short amount of time, and I just hope he continues his venture. I'm sure he's a hardworking individual. I don't know him personally. He just gave me a shout out a couple of things because of Coop, but that's going to be my cigar that caught me by total surprise. Anyway, next segment, right?
We talked about, do we have another segment, Will? Or
Yeah,
what
Coronas.
We could.
What time is it?
We could do. I always put a segment in case.
Well, let's do a quick roundabout with the Coronas.
All right.
Yeah.
I had one.
Are we over time in this segment? Okay. All right. Let's cut. We're gonna take a short break. Come back, and talk more stuff about cigars. How about that? We'll be right back.
Okay.